What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in on today's video. We are going to be jumping into hopefully wrapping up the engine for Project MISFIT. Yes, we've actually named the truck. We're going to call it MISFIT. We've got some mismatched colors going on. As you can see, we do have our heads on. They are torqued down. Injectors are in. Oil rail is on. I was not expecting to make this video as soon as we did, but we got the front cover. The front cover was on back order for, well, I wasn't expected to see it until the end of November, but we actually got that a little bit sooner than expected. Look here, listen to this. And we got a lot of movement. So we did get new idlers as well. So we're going to be taking those back off and putting new idlers on. So I wanted to stop here and show you guys something. Jot down this part number. These O-rings right here are for your glow plug harnesses. So if you're able to pull your glow plug harnesses out and you'd like to put new O-rings on those, Ford does sell them. And there's the part number right there. Check this hole out. This is, see if I can get this. There are no threads in this rocker box hole. And it's also sideways a little bit, which I think is kind of tricky to see with the camera. But I'm going to show you guys the best way to repair that. Time certs. If you guys haven't heard of these are a lot like a helicoil, except they're like a helicoil on steroids. So this is the one we're using right here to repair our valve cover holes, which we had 2 of them. So they send you with 4 things here. You got a drill bit that drills out the hole, obviously. This is a countersink right there. Check that out. So that's a countersink for the very top of this to sit in when you drill it, after you drill it. And we've got a tap, of course, and then we've got the driver, if you will, I think is what they call it. So one of the bolt holes that we had was all screwed up, so you can see it in there. The time cert, like I said, it's countersunk, so it's actually level with the it's actually level with our rocker box. And yeah, they are, like I said, they're fantastic. So we'll grab our bolt. Thread that baby boy in there. Nice and tight, and there you go. Good to go. Like it never even happened. Okay, we're jumping forward a couple of days here. We've made some progress on the engine and getting this thing back up and running. You will actually see the engine is stabbed back into the truck. We just got that done about 5 minutes ago. We got the engine back in. It's seated down. We've got it seated to the transmission and the torque converter and everything like that. It's starting to get late. We're going to wrap it up here for the night. But I wanted to talk about a few things. So you can see we've come a little bit further now. So we got everything underneath done up. So we got the engine mounts, the transmission bell housing bolts, our starters hooked up, block heaters hooked up. The only thing we haven't done is the torque converter nuts, but I need a second person for that. You guys can see those sexy things in the back there. Those are the LLD up pipes, which are available. There's a link to the website in the description below. Of course, you guys know, yeah, we had to put a set of those on here. The other thing you might notice, being that this is an 03, you know, we've got the early H-pop, the early H-pop cover, new ICP sensor in the back there, and a pigtail. But look how much room you got. That is because we got rid of our 03 intake manifold, and we got ourselves an 05 and up intake manifold, so it does not have the crossover in the back. This is a fantastic upgrade for you guys that have an 03. Most junkyards have them that you can pick up for like $50. So yeah, definitely an awesome little upgrade here. So at this point, basically the turbo and the fan stuff in our intake, and we're gonna be good to go. So we're trying to get the truck up and running. We did start the truck already, and it started up. We got it moved around here. We're getting a code for glow plug control module communication fault. So we had to do a little bit of diag here, and we did find a corroded wire for the communication wire. Go figure. That's why I was throwing the code. So we had to repair that. So I'm going to show you guys that. And then we had to diagnose another glow plug issue. We were getting a circuit code for all 8 glow plugs, and none of the glow plugs were coming on. So right now it's like 50-something degrees in the barn here, and the truck will not start without the glow plugs properly working. We're getting ICP, we're getting sync. Everything is there for the truck to start. We're getting fuel. Everything is there. It's just the glow plugs are not being turned on for some reason. And so I'm going to show you guys what we found and a couple of things to look out for. So first I'll show you the wiring repair, and then we'll dive into the actual issue that we were having. So first off, it's not uncommon for these glow plug control modules to go bad. We do not have a bad glow plug control module, but we did have a communication fault. Try to do this here, and you can see that is my repair. We got some heat shrink, some butt splices. We had a corroded wire, so we took care of the communication fault. And then after we fixed the communication fault, then we ended up with all 8 glow plugs circuit faults. So we started the diag there. So this is your connector on the passenger side here. If you undo this, you will get voltage at this connector. I'll show you guys. So this connector coming right off of your glow plug control module, with the key off, engine off, you will get voltage at that connector. We'll take our ground wire. We'll just kind of probe it into that. We'll take our positive wire lead, and we will just touch one of these pins inside of here. So with us touching a pin, yes, the batteries are kind of weak. This would normally be over 11 volts. I'm not getting a good connection. Here we go. We're getting 10.4, so we are low on voltage, but that tells me right there. And then if you were to flip the key on, you should maintain voltage at this connector, and that will tell you that your glow plug control module is good. You check each one of these pins to make sure you're getting voltage at all 4 of those pins. So at that point, I knew our glow plug control module was operating correctly. We took care of the communication fault, and I'm getting voltage at this plug. So the next thing was to check for voltage at our actual harness that goes into the engine in the rocker box there. So unfortunately, because this is a 03, it's got these metal ones, which are definitely stronger. But when you pull this out, in order to test inside of here, you'll see that metal prong inside of there. In order to test there, this whole thing has to come out. So we pulled the whole assembly out, and then we tested for voltage inside of this plug. So we're going to go inside of here, check for voltage, and we're getting voltage at all 4 of these. So then flip the key on, we're still getting voltage. So I was like, okay, that must mean there's no way. I tested each one of these glow plugs to make sure that they were working properly, and all glow plugs were working properly. We bench tested them, and so I'm like, okay, something weird is going on, because we have voltage here, we have voltage going to here. Our glow plugs are all good, but for some reason our glow plugs are not coming on. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how I bench test the glow plugs. This is out of the number 1 cylinder here, 10 millimeter, pulled it right out. I'll show you guys how I bench test these to verify that the glow plug is actually good. And then I'm going to show you guys what we found that was creating all of these issues. So the only thing you need is a battery, and you're going to hook up the ground to the body of the glow plug. And then you're going to take your power wire. Ah, shoot. Then you're just going to take your power lead here, and you're going to touch it to the end of this, and you're going to see that bad boy start smoking, and it's going to heat up. See that? So that's how I know that this glow plug is good. As long as this glow plug gets voltage, and it's grounded out through where you screw it into the rocker, or actually the head, that's how it grounds out. So I knew that the glow plug itself was good. So now the next thing I did was I installed the glow plug into the harness, and then I did a artificial ground. Basically, this is going to make sure that there's not like a grounding issue somehow within the head. I was kind of starting to shoot at the wind here. Not really sure why these glow plugs weren't coming on. And so I connected. You can see I've got it inserted into our glow plug harness, and then I have an artificial ground going from the body straight to ground to eliminate any form of a grounding issue. And then I took my positive lead, and I wanted to see if we were getting a voltage drop when the glow plugs got turned on. And so now at this point, I had somebody turn the key on, and we watched our voltage and we watched our glow plug. Now, when the key got turned on, our glow plug did not light up. It was getting voltage, but the glow plug itself was not lighting up. So we checked the voltage at the plug, and this voltage dropped to like 1.2 volts. So I knew that we did not have a ground issue, but we actually, in fact, had a voltage issue. We were having a major voltage drop between the glow plug control module and the harness. We just needed to figure out why or how the voltage drop was happening. And so we basically we grabbed a hold of this wire, and we tried to move it, and that wire moved a lot. So I knew I had a bad connection right here. This nut was tight, but it was not tight to where this power wire was still able to move. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So I ended up pulling that back off, and there was like, I don't know what this is. Whatever this is, was underneath this power wire and was keeping, so this would get tight, but the power wire was still loose, and it's because whatever this crap is that was preventing the nut from actually tightening up onto the power wire, I don't know, is very, very strange. Never seen that before, but that's why it's so important to check all of your connections. I wanted to share this just to give you guys some extra knowledge on the glow plug system, and also to show how important these connections are. So we scraped away whatever that crap, that hardened junk is. I don't know what it is. And now you can see our power wire is nice and tight. And so now if I were to flip the key on with that glow plug grounded out, that sucker would light up and we would be good to go. We wouldn't have any voltage drop, and yeah, everything would be squared away. So we basically need to get this assembly all reinstalled, get everything plugged back in, and then yeah, then we can move on to our exhaust system there. We've got to tighten up our up pipes underneath, and then we can start doing something with our exhaust system. It's getting nasty out, but we've got the glow plug set up, all switched around and squared away. We've got it's a makeshift exhaust system here. If you guys remember, the King Ranch actually had an exhaust system on it, and it was a Banks exhaust system. So that's actually what we have on this truck. So we've got our CTS2 off the tow pig hooked up. We're gonna have to get the key on. Off the windows. Batteries don't sound real happy. Hopefully we got enough. We're going to want to watch ICP. We've got 6 PSI. We're going to try and get to 500. Hey, look at that. Maybe we did have all the air out of the oil system. All right, so we're pretty much up to temperature. Everything looks fantastic. Let our battery voltages finally come up. Coolant temp, oil temp looks good. We're going to rip on it a little bit and see how she does. No hesitating, no weird jerking or anything like that. Just nice, smooth power. You can see our steering wheel's off. We have to fix that. Running great. That is going to conclude today's video. So thank you guys for tuning in. We got the truck up and running and driving. It runs good, drives good. And so, like I said, we're going to do our checks on it. And then, yeah, we've got some little things to button up on it. And then we're probably going to be selling this truck because there is another project that is going to be coming on. And I'm going to explain all of that in a later video. So thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.